Well, the people I was emailing to on the .gov system certainly knew, and they would respond to me on my personal email. But I do think it's a fair question. It was allowed, and I chose to do it, as others who had been in high official positions had as well. And I believed, and it's turned out to be very much confirmed, that the vast majority of everything that I was sending to a .gov, the official government account, would be captured. And I have gone the extra step and gone through all of the emails that I had from those 4 years in the State Department to make sure that anything, even being overly inclusive, that could possibly be work-related was made available to the State Department.
Failure of the president's policy.
Well, it's the world's policies. I mean, it's not only the United States. I advocated for, as I say, a more robust policy, but sitting here, I can't say that that would have, on its own, made a difference, because this had to be an international effort. And of course, we know the Russians were standing in the way. And I negotiated the agreement in June of 2012 in Geneva, which the Russians signed off on and then immediately began to renege. So we know that this is not just a problem that the United States can solve. We have to do what I did with the Iranian sanctions. I had to get the Russians on board. I had to get the Chinese on board. It was not easy, but that's the kind of intensive diplomacy that is going to be required in order to stop the flow of refugees and to try to bring some peace and security back to the region.
We've got the president of China coming later this month, in only a few weeks, for a state visit. And 20 years ago tomorrow,
right,
you were leading the delegation and gave a speech that accused China of human rights abuses implicitly. You said that women's rights are human rights and human rights are women's rights. And I'm wondering whether you feel 20 years later that women have any more rights, have made progress in China and indeed around the world.
So this is not only about the agreement and what looks to be its approval by the Congress, it's about what comes next. And I think that the American people are going to want a president who supports diplomacy, even with those who are our adversaries, to try to reach the kind of understandings that we have, but who will also get up every day and enforce that agreement strongly and vigilantly. I think that's a far better approach than some of the words you will hear on the same day that I deliver my speech from those who apparently don't believe in diplomacy, don't believe in the hard work of putting together international coalitions, don't believe in trying to get the best deal you can, and then don't believe that it needs to be enforced the way that I would enforce it.
And Donald Trump, among other things that he's done, has really personally attacked one of your closest aides, Huma Abedin. What was your feeling about that?